Breaking news: the Nigerian army have rescued 137 kidnapped Kuriga school children in Zamfara state. The defense headquarters disclosed that the students from Kuriga in Chikun local government area of Kaduna state were rescued in Zamfara state. The director of defense media operations, Edward Buba, disclosed that 137 hostages were rescued. He disclosed this statement on Sunday. According to Buba, it will be recalled that on 7th March 2024, troops received information that terrorists had invaded LEA school Kuriga in Chikun local government area of Kaduna state. During the incident, unconfirmed number of pupils were abducted. Following the incident, the military committed to leaving no stone unturned until all the hostages were rescued. Accordingly, in the early hours of 24th March 2024, the military, working with local authorities and government agencies across the country, in a coordinated search and rescue operation, rescued the hostages. The hostages are same persons that were abducted from the school at Kuriga in Chikun local government area of Kaduna state. The rescued hostages, totaling 137, comprised of 76 females and 61 male. They were rescued in Zamfara state and would be conveyed and handed over to the Kaduna state government for further action. Relatedly, it will be recalled that on 21st March 2024, troops equally rescued 16 pupils who are Amajuris with a woman taken hostage in Gada local government area of Sokoto state. These hostages were handed over to the Sokoto state government. These efforts demonstrate the armed forces' resolve to finding other innocent hostages and track down the terrorists that perpetrated these crimes. These efforts will continue until other hostages are found and the terrorists arrested, tried, and brought to justice by Nigerian law. Troops are employing similar effort to track down the culprits responsible for the killings of 18 soldiers in Okuama community in Delta State. Justice awaits the culprits as they cannot go unpunished. In another news, in Okuama community, 6 policemen on rescue mission have been killed while 6 others are missing. The force headquarters of the Nigeria Police on Saturday released the identities of 12 policemen, 6 of whom they said were gruesomely murdered and 6 others still missing during a rescue operation in Delta State. They also confirmed the arrest of 5 suspects. The slain officers, according to a statement signed by the force public relations officer ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, said that the policemen fell victim to an ambush by the militants while undertaking a mission to investigate the disappearance and rescue of 3 of their colleagues in Ohoro Forest, Delta State. The deceased officers, according to the statement, include Inspector Abe Olubumi, Inspector Friday Irorere, Sergeant Kuden Elisha, Sergeant Akpan Anyete, Sergeant Aire Paul, and Sergeant Jemito Friday. Those said to be missing are Inspector Onoja Daniel, Inspector Onogo Felix, Inspector Emmanuel Okorafo, Inspector Joel Hamidu, Sergeant Moses Eduvier, and Sergeant Cyril Okorie. The Nigeria Police Force is profoundly saddened by the devastating loss of the courageous officers in Delta State who exhibited exceptional valor in face of adversity. Our hearts extend to the families, friends, and the colleagues of the fallen officers during this period of profound sorrow. We stand in solidarity with them, offering our deepest condolences and earnestly praying for the peaceful repose of the departed souls, the statement read in part. It added that the force was committed to honoring the memory of their fallen heroes by recognizing their bravery, dedication, and sacrifice. It said the force was also focused on the search for the other 6 policemen while all their families have been duly contacted. In accordance with this commitment, the force will posthumously honor the slain officers for their noble service and ultimate sacrifice at the Nigeria Police Awards and Commendation Ceremony scheduled for April 5th, 2024 in Abuja. The statement added, in response to this grievous loss, the Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Egbetukun has taken decisive actions as expected. The bodies of 6 of the slain officers have been recovered after a fierce search conducted by a combined team of police officers and other security outfits. Additionally, the Inspector General of Police has mandated the expedited processing and payment of all entitlements due to the families of the fallen officers, aiming to alleviate any financial burdens they may encounter in this challenging time. Similarly, immediate measures have been initiated to ensure that justice is served swiftly and the perpetrators of this abhorrent crime are brought to justice. The Inspector General of Police has mandated the deployment of all necessary resources and personnel to apprehend those responsible for this senseless killing of our officers. And this has led to the arrest of 5 suspects in connection with the preceding incident and the killing, who are currently volunteering information necessary for the rounding up of all the perpetrators. Meanwhile, Defense Headquarters on Saturday said its troops were deploying efforts to track down the culprits responsible for the killings of 18 soldiers in the Okuama community in the Ugeli South local government area of Delta State. Meanwhile, a socio-political group in the Niger Delta region, Coalition of Niger Delta Activists, has called for the prosecution of military personnel involved in the raising of Okuama community and the extrajudicial murder of innocent civilians, including women and children. The group, led by Rex Anigoro, described the actions of the Nigerian army in Okuama and other areas within the Niger Delta region following the killing of 17 soldiers as egregious and crimes against humanity. It noted that the development constitutes grave violations of human rights and must be met with swift and decisive legal action. The development is already sparking outrage that demands accountability from activists, residents of the Niger Delta, and individuals of goodwill. Such acts labeled as war crimes are condemned unequivocally by Conda as gross violations of human rights and dignity, it added. Situation in Okuama community is becoming tense, hence the Niger Delta region. The police is overstretched, the army officers are restrained from violating the human rights of the civilians living in Okuama community, although the allegations are that the soldiers have already gone and leveled down that village. But we have to wait for more reports on that aspect. 6 police officers missing, 6 more are being searched for. When will this crisis stop? Many believe that the politicians are responsible for the crisis between those two communities, and they are the ones using the army to perpetrate some of these crimes that have led to the killing of villagers, which also led to the reprisal attacks on 17 slain soldiers. However, the army is being asked not to give itself to politicians that will rubbish their integrity and respect from the Nigerian people.